So, this is Solm. It's very... sandy.
The Queendom's land is covered in deserts. I believe this one is called Tula, and as you've no doubt noticed, it's much hotter than in Lugia. I fear I may melt.
What now, Divine One?
We better head straight to the palace. I just hope the hounds haven't gotten there first.
During my time in Lugia, the four hounds did pay a few visits to Solm, but they came back empty-handed each time, so I expect the palace is unharmed.
Thanks, Ivy. Pretty handy having an enemy as a friend.
I will choose to take that as a compliment.
Which emblem ring was entrusted to Solm?
The Radiant Hero. Said to be among the most powerful. Needless to say, it would be quite a boon.
Sounds like exactly what we need right now. Let's get going. Let's see. Which way to the palace again?
Divine One, I believe we passed that enormous rock earlier.
What? Really? All this terrain looks the same to me.
I wish I could help. My knowledge of Solmic geography comes only from maps. Wait a moment. Prince Alfred, Prince Diamant, your nations are allied with Solm. Haven't you gone to the palace before?
I did, but quite a long time ago. I don't remember the way.
I traveled from Firene. I've got no clue how to get there from Elusia.
So none of us knows where to go. All right, I'll say it. We're lost.
I'm afraid so. We can't afford to waste time. I wonder if there's a landmark to go by.
Hey, you don't look like you're from around here. What's with the outfits? Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you, but I took one look and thought to myself, they are lost.
And, who are you?
Who am I? I'm the guy, here to keep the peace in Tula Desert. Call me Fogado, yeah? As captain of the Sentinels, it's my duty to help people in need. You find folks need a hand, just let me know.
Thanks for that. As for myself, I'm the Divine Dragon, from Lethos.
Wait, who? You're telling me the Divine Dragon is here, in my desert? No kid.
Yes.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be rude.
You weren't. There's no need to be formal with me.
Didn't expect you to be casual. That's cool. But hey, what brings you all out to my piece of the world?
We're on our way to Solm Palace, but we don't know how to get there.
This is your lucky day. Come on, just follow me. If I know how to get anywhere, it's the palace.
You don't mind?
Of course I don't. You know what's out there? Sand, as far as the eye can see. And I would rather you not have to deal with that. Lucky me mad, huh?
Thank you, Fogado. We appreciate your help.
Don't sweat it. Oh, you know what? I do have a quick errand to take care of first.
An errand? What kind of errand?
More of a mission. See, not too long ago, these freaky creatures started appearing everywhere. As captain of the Sentinels, when I get a report about a problem in the desert, I take care of it. Sorry about this. You have a sit, and I'll take you to the palace right after I'm done.
Actually, why don't we come with you? We can help.
Well, that'd be great. My friends went ahead of me. Let's go meet up with them. The problem's even worse than I expected. Hey, there they are! Pandreo! Bunet!
Fogado, you're late. I was starting to think you wanted us to die out here.
With any further delay, these creatures would have made a meal of us.
Sorry about that, fellas. But hey, I brought help.
Help? What do you mean, help?
Oh, Pandreo, my pious friend. This is really gonna blow your mind.
Hello? Divine Dragon. Nice to meet you.
Oh, it's the Divine Dragon. The Divine Dragon! Hang on! What were you thinking, bringing the Divine Dragon here?
That hair. Like 2 scoops of sorbet swirling together in the desert heat.
Hey, save it for the kitchen. That's a deity you're talking about.
I knew this would get you 2 fired up. Divine One, these are my Sentinel friends. What do you say? Ready to handle a mission with us?
Ready.
Welcome to Soul. Chapter 12 is a change of pace. The objective is routing the enemy, not seen since Jean's paralogue. That objective's again paired with corrupted enemies and villagers to protect. A new region means new terrain. This map introduces quicksand. It inverts the effect of the ice from Tiki's paralogue. Crossing quicksand costs no additional movement, but any units who start from quicksand suffer -3. Flyers, as usual, ignore that downside. We only have 6 unit deployment slots and 2 emblem rings. Instead of ice to increase the scale of the map, there's quicksand to decrease it, and the enemies are soulless zombies. Compared to chapters 10 and 11, there's not much going on. That's by design. Chapter 12 is built to let the player catch their breath, get acquainted with their new friends, and decompress to the dulcet tones of Bright Sandstorm. My problem is making that an entertaining watch. Good pacing for a player with residual adrenaline coursing through their veins from walking the Chapter 11 tightrope 15 minutes ago isn't so good for a viewer who fell asleep listening to me drone on about class changes last week. If things weren't tricky enough, this map has the largest gap in power level between DLC and non-DLC players. We had 3 times the number of emblems this map was balanced around. Camilla's no Lyn, but she's a lot better than your average Von Ring. It's the same problem as my video playing Jean's paralogue delayed 2 maps, and the same solution, beating the map as fast as possible to give myself something to build the clear around. What does as fast as possible mean here? After turn 3 enemy phase, a bunch of reinforcements spawn to prolong the map, so I'd only call a clear fast if it finishes before then. I certainly don't need the extra experience. 3 turns is doable without any special strats or DLC, although it's non-trivial. I normally just miss it playing casually, and sigh wistfully as I spend a few turns cleaning up. With even just Tiki and Edelgard, I'd say you can aim for 2 turns without undue difficulty. There's a number even smaller than 2, however, 1. In planning, I realized my second turn was a bit of a dud, so I wondered about cutting it out. Low turn count runs do it in 1 turn, after all, why can't I? I wasn't sure I could figure everything out for this series, however. We're not exactly building an LTC-paced team, and some common LTC tactics don't fit this run style. Looking at those clears helped, despite that, especially in Anything Goes LTC I'll link in the description. It went live after my recording of this clear, but I'll shout out an LTC Iron Man being streamed by Fateful Dawn with a timestamped link in the description. Kudos to her and her brain trust for a creative clear. After some messing around, here's what I put together. Enjoy.
Help! Help!
Alright, let's do this thing, Sentinels. And, guests.
Finally! Time to get this party started!
I will serve up a most deadly dish.
Before I forget, watch out for those patches of quicksand. That stuff will really slow you down.
Because this will be quick, I'll review our new recruits after the map. The short version. Fogado is Fogado, Bunet is Bunet, and Pandreo is Pandreo. I think this Killing Edge guy is supposed to showcase Bunet's talents. Bunet's bulky enough to take a crit in stride, and he has good luck. It's not exactly the clean 1 round so that characters get to introduce themselves, but I still appreciate it. Fogado cleans up more reliably. Amber's taking Edelgard Airlines to the northwest corner of the map, but I want him at full HP. In my quest to actually use status staves, we'll use Fracture for that, even though you could route it out. Ivy's flexible enough to work as a combatant here, but on my team she's my only Flying Bee staff user. 88% isn't ideal, and I thought about going back and tonicking it, but I think watching LTCs has made me overly cautious. We hit these first try, baby! Even if not, what, am I gonna run out of rewinds? Now Amber. This guy's a pushover, but one turning the corner of the map is tricky. I'm indebted to the Anything Goes LTC for this next bit. The Axe Fighter's coded to chase the villagers and ignore your units, so I have to attack him, and that leaves 3 enemies remaining, most notably a warrior that could attack Bunet. The solution is to have Amber use a Micaiah engraved javelin with high avoid. That way the warrior prefers breaking Amber to doubling Bunet, hopefully misses, and gets counterattacked. I had no idea what to put Micaiah's engrave on, fun fact, so I'm kind of amazed it's coming in clutch the first time I wanted it.
I must stay focused.
My alpaca boy is absolutely thriving. If he had even a single extra point of defense, the monk wouldn't attack him. Kagetsu could never. This is with an unforged 3-might Micaiah engraved javelin. Just imagine what he's going to be doing when I really outfit him. A flyer with 4 more speed and 6 more attack than Amber could one-round the warrior, which is a pretty brutal benchmark. The Anything Goes LTC has a roided out Chloe who fits the bill with enough LTC shenanigans, but I don't need to follow suit. Sean's here to help. Asher Storm can weaken the warrior, so even an unforged javelin with -3 might from Micaiah's engrave can finish him off.
Now I have
Let's give Pandreo his moment, shall we?
Divine One, it's such an honor. Please, use my abilities as you see fit. I can use my staff to warp you or an ally somewhere far away on the battlefield.
For once in my life, I'll actually take him up on that offer. I think the devs would be happy seeing me use the staff bundled with Pandreo for the quicksand on his join map instead of saving it for something later. I'm done using teleports for anything but silly stuff. That means I'm not worried about wasting them. Sure, you could warp a unit to the west to one-turn the map without Raging Storm, or save it for a hard map later, but isn't this more fun? While Alir's in transit, Chloe can borrow her inspiration for getting this kill. Chloe can't use Fracture, so this is her job and not Ivy's. Now the coast is clear for Anna. For clears like these, advancing the RNG can be tricky. Veronica lets me toggle between Please Scalp to avoid a hit, and Elfire to take it, without changing any other outcomes. If you wanted to live dangerously, you could even summon Hero and hope for the best. From her Canter destination, Anna can handle 2 foes at enemy phase, and she has the 30 magical attack needed to one-round the mage. The Axe Fighter has a great axe, so Anna won't even take a hit from him. A 6-movement Alir can reach this sortie to smash him back a tile. I gave her boots for exactly these kind of scenarios. If you're going to milk Dragon's energies for content, you can at least give Alir the movement of a mount. Hail Smash is a more accurate weapon than the Iron Blade, so that's what we're going with. The 3 other enemies on this side of the map are all tough to one-round. In particular, the Wolf Knight has 22 speed and 1-2 range. It's a high bar, but we did just get Lyn. You can brute force it. Brute forcing our way past benchmarks isn't really this run's thing, however, so I'm doing things a little differently. Enter Dark Inferno. We will see a lot more Axe Engage attacks, so this steel great axe I just forged will become a fixture of the series. For now we can just forge until we hit our benchmarks, even Vander can do this, but eventually we won't be able to anymore. That's when a very strong unit becomes most valuable. Let's see if luck's on my side.
I could use some tea after that.
Anna's luck is on my side at least. Now we'll see if Amber can follow suit.
Mission accomplished.
Another win for Alpaca Nation. Aspiring Hero made the dodge less likely, but it is nice seeing 100 hit for the rest of this.
I must stay focused. I must stay focused.
And that's that. Wyvern Amber's maiden flight is a success, and his sidekicks did alright too. After wrapping that up, let's get to know the Sentinels.
Thanks.
The game keeps Fogado's royalty a secret at first, but the game mechanics don't lie. Unique class, unique proc skill from personal class, QED. Fogado continues the tradition of Etier and Ulchrist, giving you a competent anti-flyer unit, even if you never take the hint and roster an archer long term. If you used Etier to kill flyers and nothing else, and then benched her for Ulchrist so he could kill flyers and nothing else, you can now bench Ulchrist for Fogado so he can, you'll never guess, kill flyers and nothing else. Fogado has different growth than either. He's speedy where Etier is strong and Ulchrist is dexterous. He's more or less the fastest unit in Engage, which is a great sales pitch. Maybe I should have led with that. The idea with the Fogado is that you can double foes and prop up his poor strength with effective damage. Just like his character introduction would have you believe, he'll be coolly competent at that going forward. Fogado's defense keeps him back from the front lines, and his weak offense means that he's not the kind of general-purpose powerhouse you want getting Bondage Shield. His personal class skill back at you is a little confusing in light of that, but if you want to feel like you're getting your money's worth, you can put him at the edge of a mage's range. He has good resistance, and you don't have to be strong to 2-hit them back. Honestly, it's a little head-scratching as a choice, and similarly, his personal skill Charmer is a puzzle. If the last combat let the opponent counter, it means you already risked one crit chance to save another, and if you try to do some kind of longbow into big weapon combo with a dance in between against a boss or something, you're probably getting a little too cute. Bow Knight's careful aim is a total dud too, so Cupido still acts as Bow Knight plus a few points. He is notably higher magic than your average Bow Knight, and he can grab the Radiant Bow from his house soon to hit enemies on their weaker stat. Excepting a few unserious builds, the Radiant Bow's pretty much his personal weapon, and gives Fogado a niche for the rest of the game against defensive wyverns. Fogado is one of the true mixed units in Engage. With mobility and range, he's trying to find something to do every turn, and so that flexibility is important. Bow Knight is not the world's greatest class, so even the slightly better Cupido isn't your only option. Warrior gives him a lot more physical damage with a silver bow, that combo being the only benefit of bow proficiency. His stat spread's similar to Fram as a reference. He's not going to wow you with his combat, but great speed and a pulse is all you need to pull your weight. He often has fewer awkward maps before a build comes together than others. He essentially clones a Fram in Martial Master with Flashing Fist Art and Erica, for instance, but he's not going to spend half the game taking XP from other units before you get that going. He's a good fit for Erica and other classes too, appreciating her player phase mixed offense and flat damage bonuses. Corrin's also interesting. You may not have another unit who can debuff foes at 3 range with 6 movement, and he's a unit that otherwise struggles against bosses. Byleth's coming up soon and also fits nicely with that idea. He's probably not going to be your best fighter, but in part because of that, you're not going to be sorry he's the one setting up a boss kill or a Dance of the Goddess. For blind players reeling from Chapter 10, Fogado's an important lifeline. Even the very next map features tons of tough flyers, and he's a competent archer to lean on. He also gives you a good user of several upcoming emblems you may not have planned for. If you already have a team with those bases covered, however, Fogado can struggle to shine. It's hard to just throw resources at him until he's your best unit, although this is Engage, so you definitely can do that. He'll do the most for your team when you use his high floor to free up resources so other units can approach their ceiling. You'll always have a few units who won't get any of the premium resources, there are only so many to go around. Many units can barely tread water without their preferred emblem or expensive forge. Fogado isn't so needy. He exudes confidence and backs it up with competence, and it's hard to go wrong deploying him. As you might expect from a carefree, hot-blooded young man, however, he's maybe not the first choice to shoulder the responsibility of hard carrying your team. With just deserts around us, while Bunet's musing over just desserts, we'll give him his just desserts. Hopefully Bunet feels at home now that I've shown I'm also capable of awkward food dialogue. Bunet is our third pre-promote, following in the footsteps of 2 extreme outliers, Vander and Kagetsu. If you compare every unit at the same level in class, and you sort by some kind of stat, Vander's usually at the bottom, and Kagetsu's usually at the top. Will Bunet be closer to a second Vander or a second Kagetsu? Vander, unfortunately. This'll be a rough one. Every character is someone's favorite, and so in these reviews I try to focus on what units can do instead of what they can't. Part of Fire Emblem's appeal comes from using your favorites. You don't need me to rain on your parade. Kagetsu's analysis was hard to write because I had too many nice things to say. This one's hard because I don't have enough. Let's see. I think he's cute in Halberdier. The hairstyle works. I've run out of ways to stall, so let's get into the stats. Kagetsu got Louis' strength and defense with Lapis's speed, plus near unmatched dexterity. Bunet has the strength and defense of Lapis, the speed of Louis, and one of the game's worst dex stats. Amber's dexterity sucks too, but he has a personal that gives hit plus 20. Bunet doesn't, he's just painfully inaccurate. His good stats are HP, build, and luck. Bunet's numbers are a far cry from Vander's, he's not the worst at everything, but those three stats don't work together for a good niche. Lapis often feels bulky because she's really fast and avoids getting doubled. Bunet has basically the same bulk, but he'll get doubled instead, so he feels like he's made of, I suppose, papier-mâché. Etty is made of cardboard, but she's strong. She can hit benchmarks and kill enemies before they kill her. Bunet's working with Fram-level strength, though he struggles to even meaningfully chunk enemies. Besides, he can't hit anything reliably, so risking death for a 70% tomahawk hit feels unwise. The strange thing about Bunet is that the other pre-promotes we're gonna get aren't like this. They aren't quite on Kagetsu's statistical level, because no one is, but they're pretty darn close. It's just Bunet sticking out. Why? I think it's that Bunet has the great misfortune of joining in a class that lets him use his stats. As we've seen with Lapis, Great Knight can be utterly dominant in the right situation, with enemies doing 3 damage a pop and posing no threat. If that's Lapis, imagine Kagetsu. He feels brutally unfair in Great Knight before more enemies hit resistance and enemies finish promoting. If Bunet had Kagetsu tier stats, especially in lower difficulties, he'd totally wreck the game's balance. It's too much power to simply hand the player for free, so Bunet pays the price. Just to really rub it in, all of the places you'd look for a niche beyond his stats disappoint. His innate proficiency, swords, is significantly worse than either lances or axes, and it's wasted on him given his high build and terrible strength. I think of Alabaster Duty as actively bad, so it's my vote for the worst personal skill, but Bunet's is impressively useless. A packed meal can give you 3+ turns where your best mage is invincible to all incoming damage with favorite food and Lucina, so why would you waste it on every 10 maps, doing more healing your healers could just do instead, in a way you can't plan around? If he joined 3 maps back, trying to combine it with favorite food would at least be funny, but he joins now, remember basically the worst time in the game, so you may never proc the combo before the game ends. In Engage, you have an incredible amount of resources to pour in the units and near total freedom to change classes. There is no unit in Engage as bad as the worst units were in many previous titles, doomed to struggle in awful classes with little help. The flip side of that modern Fire Emblem design, however, is that units have to compete with everyone, not just a couple units who share their class. When Kagetsu's not stuck in Swordmaster like he might be in other games, he's just better than even my darling Amber at everything save a tiny bit of strength. Having a few overtuned units doesn't hurt, you can't fill a team with Kagetsu's. Even if you could, Amber still has early skill inheritances and proficiencies, along with a good personal skill. But you can fill a team with average units who outclass Bunet. I feel bad essentially writing a hit piece on Bunet, so I'll end with my recommendations for building him. As a halberdier with Erica, Pincer Attack lets a unit double with a Brave Lance or Killer Lance and multiply Erica's damage bonuses even without good speed. That's about the highest floor you can have in combat. Bunet's not a good unit for it, but even a bad unit hitting 4 times with the Brave Lance and Lunar Brace is workable. You might give that a whirl. Other high floor generic builds are Hero for Brave Assist chain attacks or Warrior for anti-air combat. As a pre-promote, he does at least fill these roles without using a Master Seal. If you're trying to make Bunet a star in Madadain, I recommend Zoloft, but beyond that, Linden 3 Houses are your best bets as usual. Even a bad Wyvern with one of those emblems can do a lot. I'd guess Hector would also be a decent try. Quick Riposte lets him cheat his speed stat. Just to really show I tried, I'll note that his luck gives him surprisingly good late game staff hit rates with Divine Pulse Plus. If you need a rando to hit an entrap later, you could do worse. I wish I had some build for him that wouldn't be better on someone you've already benched, but I don't. Bunet is known as a unit you have to go out of your way to use. When you're in that kind of a rut, and you have what I will charitably call a character design that has not made him a fan favorite, he usually has a lot of time to work on his recipes from the bench. Let's get the party started! The 2-word summary of Pandreo is Magic Kagetsu. If you remember me drooling over Kagetsu's stats and his analysis, you know that's high praise. His numbers aren't quite so absurd, but magic's better than physical damage, so that roughly evens out. Put another way, he's one of the few units with a real case for best in the game. Compared to Ivy, Pandreo lacks Lindworm, a little magic, and defense, so he's maybe not quite as good at soloing the game. In exchange, his terrible defense is his only true weakness, whereas Ivy had to worry about her dex, speed, and luck. In a game with Bondage Shield, defense is easy to fix, and I'd argue there's no one better suited for sweeping through maps alongside a Lucina wielder. Pandreo even gets a personal skill that boosts hit with adjacent allies. The avoid doesn't seem like a big deal, but Pandreo has some of the game's best natural avoid. With a little rigging, he can dodge tank in a lot of places with some setup. I don't think he'll have to worry much about mystical units given that resistance. Pandreo feels like grown-up clan. He's just fun to use because of how good his RNG stats are. Pandreo starts in a perfectly workable class, but you do probably want him in Mage Knight, Griffin, or Sage pronto. He has no business using arts, and we don't have any S-rank staves for him to use. I don't think it's worth debating the different classes too much. They're all great, and the best class is whichever one works with your team construction. Like Kagetsu, his deck, speed, and build are all fantastic, and his weakest link is raw firepower. You want to make sure you're using Pandreo's shockingly high build. His personal base is higher than Kagetsu's and Bunet's, to supplement his damage. A Forged Volcanone or Levin Sword, which conveniently drops in this map when he shows up, are all he needs to go nuts. His combination of magic, speed, and build is unmatched. If he's using all three, he hits benchmarks like no one else. Like Anna, he's fast enough to hit most benchmarks without the full Lin stack, so he's not competing for her and can use whatever emblem your team needs him to. If I can put my Anna fan club president hat on for a second, I'll note that Pandreo does have an iffy 30 magic growth that leads to a small deficit in the late game compared to the likes of Anna, Citrine, and Jean. Enemy generals can be some of the toughest benchmarks to hit, and extra build doesn't help with those. You need magic, which is much harder to boost with skill inherits. Pandreo's not light years ahead of other magical glass cannons the way Kagetsu is for fast physical units, even if on balance he's firmly on top. Here's the thing, Pandreo's not really a magical glass cannon the way Citrine or Anna are. He's a priest who's so good he can be a glass cannon on the side. Pandreo's the first unit with innate staff proficiency. That means he has B staves in Griffin and, I guess, Royal Knight, Recover, Rescue, Warp, and Fracture, and A rank in Sage for Entrap and Fortify. If you want a staff wielder who can do combat behind the front lines, like I've recommended for other mages you're not giving Bondage Shield, Ivy is the only unit worthy of sharing a sentence with Pandreo. On some teams, those staves would otherwise rot in the convoy, and even if none of them are so good you have to use them constantly, it's just an extra perk on top of arguably the best stats in the game for player phase magic. I pitched Byleth for Vidon Saline, and that's pretty good. You get great staff hit, Thyrsus range, and you can throw an 11 sword here and there. Sage Pandreo with Byleth has massive leads in HP, magic, dexterity, build, and resistance, trades the 11 sword for S tomes and A staves, and has the same mystical bonuses. I've called Sword Griffin Chloe one of the game's best builds. Sword Griffin Pandreo has similar stats but is even faster when Chloe's weighed down by the 11 sword, and has B staves to Chloe's C. Like Kagetsu, I think the hardest thing to remember is that Pandreo has his archetype strengths without most of its weaknesses. If you intuitively expect a priest to have poor HP and build or subpar offense and build Pandreo accordingly, you'll squander his talents. If you want Pandreo to unleash his inner party animal, give him bondage shield support and a forge, sit back and eat popcorn while he goes, "Oh, oh!" and tears foes to shreds. Pandreo doesn't need Lin, so someone else can be doing the same thing in a different area of the map. If more or less the best sweeper in the game isn't your style, Pandreo's unmatched at mixing staves of combat, and the party never truly stops. He may look like a healer, but it'll hit like a freight train. Out of the truly elite combatants, the ones I consider contenders for best in the game, Pandreo asks the least of you. Do you have a Volcanone or Levin Sword? Because you just played Chapter 12, the answer is yes. Do you have any of Byleth, Corin, Celica, Micaiah, Erica, Sorin, Veronica, Camilla, or Crom available? Congratulations, Pandreo will make your team better. Pandreo is one of the few units I'd recommend wholeheartedly for any team and any player. He sets the standard by which every mage is judged. That's that. Before better enemies force us to lean more on our new defensive tools, it's fun to showcase some of the DLC grab bag in ways that most maps won't let me. Next time we'll take more than one turn, I can promise you that. That's Chapter 13 in the Oasis. Bye a papaya!
Nice going. You really showed them what the Divine Dragon can do. Now, to Solm Palace. Stay close. I'd hate for you to split off and get lost. Again.
Thanks, Fogado.
This ought to be interesting. It's been years since I visited the palace.
Years? I thought Solm and Firene had a good relationship.
Our countries are allies, sure, but that doesn't mean our families are close-knit. In fact, out of Solm's whole royal family, my mother and I have only met Queen Sephoria.
What? No one else?
Nope. Not the royal consort, not the crown princess, and not her brother the prince.
That's strange.
I never met them either.
Same thing happened to you, huh?
I may have forgotten the way to the palace, but I remember well what happened there. It was a strange scene. The queen received us alone, with no one attending her. When we asked to meet the princess and prince, she told us they weren't there.
She told us the exact same thing. I asked when they'd be back, and she said, no idea. It didn't make sense. If you're royalty, you can't leave your castle whenever you like. I got the feeling she was hiding them from us. But why? Were they sick or shy?
Shy? That would surprise me. Everyone we've met here has been so friendly.
The queen is too. There are just some things about the royal family that don't add up. Let's be on guard, all right?
Got it.
We're here, Sohm Palace. Now all that's left is asking those guards to open the gate.
Thanks for leading the way, Fogado. I don't know how we'd have gotten here without you.
Of course. Just another day in the life of a sentinel.
I'll be sure to commend you to the Queen. Anyway, now we'd better be on our way. Huh? Fogado? What are you doing?
Talking to the guards. What else?
Does he have a meeting with the queen as well?
Beats me. Maybe he's here on some kind of sentinel business.
Fogado, wait for us!
Hey, I'm home!
Home?
Welcome back, Prince Fogado.
I'll open the gate.
Yes, let the gate be open!
Prince. Did that guard say prince?
Unless we misheard him. In exactly the same way.
Thanks for waiting, folks.
Fogado, we're a little confused. Are you the Prince of Sohm?
Did I not mention that?
No, you didn't.
Whoops! Egg meat face! Right, let me do this properly. I'm Fogado, Captain of the Sentinels, and the Prince of Sohm. Welcome to my family's palace. Come on in. You wanted to meet Mom, right? Mom! Visitors!
What is happening?
I didn't realize he was royalty.
Prince personally going on patrols. Not something you see every day.
I wonder why we never met him before. He doesn't seem sick. He's certainly not shy.
It's a mystery. Anyway, let's head in. Don't want to keep Prince Fogado waiting.
Stolen, miserable, torn apart from your friends. How delicious.
Lady Vale.
Zephyr, tell me, what are the Divine Dragon's forces up to?
They passed through the Shadowy Moor. It appears they've arrived in Solm.
So they did not return to Rhodia. They're gathering more rings. Good.
Can we go after them, Lady Vale? I'm itching for a rematch.
Patience, Marnie. If we wait, we can steal Solm's ring from them along with the others.
Oh, smart. I'll be a good girl and wait then.
You are a treasure, Marnie.
Isn't she just? The pride of the Four Hounds.
You two really heap on the praise. That's why I love ya.
You're such a child. Praise is for chumps. It's much more fun to be punished.
Worry not, Gris. You will soon have all the agony your heart could want.
That's what I like to hear. The perks of the gig right there.
And you, Mavir? How would you like to be rewarded?
Nothing for me, my lady.
You won't even say my name. How cold. That's all right. For now, we wait. We watch. And then, when the time comes...
Lady Vale?
I've been awake for too long. I must sleep. Here are your instructions. Zephyr, take charge.
As you wish.